Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Good afternoon. My name is Angela Marshall, and I'm the pastor at St. John's United Methodist Church in Lugoff, South Carolina. And you have tuned in for a time of updates. Each week, St. John's is intentional about communicating with our email distribution list all of the updates regarding happenings and changes or new opportunities that are being offered to the members and friends of St. John's. This has been done on Facebook through writing and very lengthy messages, so we thought we'd try and mix it up a little bit and put a face with the updates. This week, you get my face. Who knows who you'll get next week? What's the plan? Well, as you're aware, the governor of South Carolina recently lifted the closing restrictions that had previously been placed on public beaches as well as retail stores, granting them permission to reopen. And once this announcement was made, we began to receive inquiries at St. John's regarding when we would be reopening our doors for our regular church happenings as well as our weekly worship services. We do not have that information yet, but we want you to be assured that as soon as we do, we will do everything in our power to get the word out to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, so that you can make plans accordingly. You see, many people have seen the recent news of the stores and the beaches being reopened as somewhat of an end in sight. But COVID-19 is still very present in our community and throughout our world. And while we long to worship together in the same space at the same time, we've come far, far too far in the last month and a half, and we have prevented so much spread of this virus in the last month and a half for us to just jeopardize the safety of others by gathering together in person before it is truly safe to do so. Therefore, St. John's will remain committed to practicing compassionate stewardship by worshiping together online, by meeting in Zoom meetings or on phone calls, by sharing with our care team who's calling to check on our members. These are the ways that we will stay connected and stay in relationship with one another during this time until it really is safe for us to gather together in person once again. Speaking of online worship, we want to remind you that you can go to our webpage, www.stjohnslugoff.com, and there you will find links that will take you to our Facebook Live worship, or you can follow the link to our YouTube channel where you can find recordings of our previous worship services, our children's Sunday school, and our children's moments. This week will mark 6 weeks that St. John's United Methodist Church has been live streaming Sunday morning worship. It's hard to believe that we've been able to do this with a laptop, one microphone, no special software, a worship team that includes our music ministry, and a preacher. We cannot thank you enough for choosing to worship with us each Sunday morning or whenever it is that you join us for our worship services. We do recognize that there are churches in our community, in our state, throughout the world with far greater media capacity and capabilities than we are able to offer at this time, and yet you come back and you choose to worship with us, and we are so grateful for that. We love being able to share and worship with you, and we hope that this will continue. Thank you for your patience with us, because with one laptop and one microphone, we are aware that the sound quality is not to an excellent level. We are struggling when it comes to the sound, but we are working on it. Each week, we are looking to try and tweak the different kinks that tend to affect the sound in our worship. And so thank you for being patient. We ask that you continue to be patient and know that we are aware and we are striving for excellence, and hope that we will be able to reach the level of excellence soon. Please know that your encouragement throughout all of this has been an amazing gift, and we could not continue to do this without your continued support. So thank you. Thank you so much. St. John's United Methodist Child Care Ministry. St. John's United Methodist Child Care Ministry closed her doors in response to COVID-19 and in our efforts to reduce the spread of this extremely contagious virus on Friday, March 13th, when the last child was picked up that evening. This means that today marks the 27th school day that the children have not been able to enter this building. Now, during this time, the Child Care Board felt that it was important that we continue to offer our child care staff 100% payroll. And in this time, they have also been encouraged to seek out online opportunities for continuing education and professional development. And we are so proud and so thankful for our teachers who have been diligent in this, and they've made a point to seek these opportunities out weekly. So for 6 weeks, our child care has had no source of income due to not being able to offer child care for families. And therefore, 100% payroll for child care employees has been made possible through our Rainy Day Fund, which was created for a situation such as this. It was started several years ago by our Child Care Board at the time. And while it has been an incredible gift, and it has allowed us to pay our child care employees 100%, it is not a fund that has unlimited resources. And so 2 weeks ago, St. John's United Methodist Church applied to participate in the CARES Loan Act, PPP, with hopes that if we receive these funds, it will help to provide the financial assistance needed in order for us to continue to support our child care staff. We've not been provided with the information as to whether or not we have been approved or denied for this loan, but we will definitely communicate that with you as that information is made available. At this time, there's no definite date as to when St. John's United Methodist Church Child Care will reopen. The Child Care has been very intentional. The Child Care Board has been very intentional about communicating as an executive committee each week as we make a decision as to whether or not the child care should remain closed or whether it should be opened. And when we do make the decision to open the child care, and when we make that recommendation and it is approved by the church leadership, we will be sure to communicate that with you, with our child care parents, with our child care staff, with the church congregation. Because we want you to be able to celebrate with us the day that this facility is filled to the brim with the giggles and the joy of the children that have been missed so much during this time. A quick note about financial generosity. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has continued to support St. John's United Methodist Church with your financial generosity, as you have made a point to either give online, to mail in your contributions, or to schedule bill pay with your personal bank. We are grateful for that you recognize that giving is to God, not to an organization or not to a church, but your giving is dedicated to God. And as the church, our prayer is that you would see we are dedicated to being good stewards of God's tithes and God's offerings. That even though the doors to the church have closed, ministry continues, and it's your support that has allowed us to continue to help out and to support those in our community and those right here in our midst. So thank you for your continued commitment and your generosity. And finally, last but certainly not least, I would venture to say the most. This is a time where we share with you those who are in need of our prayers. We ask that you keep these folks in your prayers daily, that even if you do not know their need, God surely does. Please keep in your prayers all those who were affected by the storms and tornadoes over the Easter weekend. Dennis and Nancy Atkinson, Dawn Block, Nita Brown, Alton Campbell, Richard and Sherry Giger, Julia Halford, Betty Hawkins, Regina and Mel Henson, Dot Hillier, Jeff and Brianna Jeffers, Bob Keys, Joseph Matheson, Nicole McCoy, Betty Miller, Larry and Judy Patrick, Heather and Jeremy Ray and their new child, Easton, the family of Mary Reynolds, Tony Stam, the family of Eugenia Walden, and Jimmy Wardlaw. Please remember all of these folks in your prayers, and if you have those that you would like to add to our prayer list, please contact the church office or send me a direct message, and we would gladly join together with you in prayer. We would find it an honor to lift your loved one in prayer. Please know that you are in our prayers as we continue in this time of social distancing and quarantine, that you would feel the presence of the Holy Spirit and that you would be blessed in each day that we have been given. God's peace to you.